The Sign of the Four, one of favorite story from the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Yes, it's the first book in the series, but if you start here, you won't be lost. All the essentials are contained within these four walls, and this is the story. After serving his country in the army, Dr. John Watson returns to 221B Baker Street to find Sherlock Holmes bored and alone. Their routine is soon broken by the entrance of Mary Morstan, who holds out a velvet box towards the detective. Inside is a single lustrous pearl. She explains that her father vanished a decade ago, and that she has received one white pearl every Christmas for the past 5 years. This year's pearl came with an anonymous invitation to meet the giver. Holmes, intrigued by the case, asks to accompany her, to which she agrees. As they leave, Holmes notes Mary's appearance and the maker's mark on the box. From this, he determines that the pearls were crafted in Bombay and that her benefactor knows much about her background. After thanking her for calling and warning her of potential danger, Holmes tells her that he will see her again that evening. When the clock strikes 8, Holmes and Watson leave Baker Street and follow a carriage through London's dark streets to Pondicherry Lodge. As the cab passes by, Holmes notices the coachman has a wooden leg. They pay the driver and enter the house, where they are met by Thaddeus Sholto, who explains that his father, Major Sholto, served in India with Mary's father. According to the Major, an Indian prince had confided in him about a hidden treasure during the Indian Mutiny. When the prince was killed, the Major stole the treasure, secreted it away, and secretly sent Mary the pearls as her inheritance. But on his deathbed, he was visited by a mysterious person who left a note signed The Sign of the Four. Upon reading the note, the Major suffered a stroke and died without revealing the location of the treasure. Thaddeus and his brother Bartholomew inherited the map to the chest and the chest itself. But the brothers fell out and Bartholomew vanished with the treasure. Thaddeus now wants Holmes to help find his brother and recover the loot. Holmes and Watson examine every nook and corner of the Sholto house, finding a secret panel which conceals a large key. In the adjoining room, they find clay dust on the floor and footprints leading to a locked door. Holmes kicks the door in, but they are too late. A masked figure has slipped out an unguarded exit and disappeared into the night. Fuming, they return to Baker Street and spread the map on the table. The map shows a red cross marking the general hiding spot. Holmes decides to sail downriver to where the conspirator must have gone. He tells Watson to summon Tonga, their old friend from the Sign of Three, and have him meet them at the boathouse with a small boat. Tonga arrives, and Holmes takes charge. He tells Tonga to arm himself, not for defense, but as a watchman against the darkness, then guides the boat down the river. Holmes scans the keys as they pass by, but it isn't until they reach the bridge that he spots a movement on the bank. A man, later identified as Jonathan Small, steps out and begins dragging a heavy chest towards the river. Holmes gives the order to stop, and the chase is on. Small runs along the bank while the boat races ahead, trying to cut him off. Holmes jumps into the water and swims after Small, who tries to make good his escape by climbing aboard another vessel. Holmes pulls him back into the river just as a policeman arrives, but Small fights back and hurls a poisoned dart at the helmsman. Tonga. Holmes seizes the pole and rope and helps secure Small to the mast of the boat. Once he is subdued, they haul him aboard the launch, where Holmes pries open the chest. Inside, they find coffers of jewels, diamonds and pearls, enough wealth to ruin or enrich everyone involved. Holmes sets aside Mary's share and orders the boatman to steam to Scotland Yard. At the yard, Holmes interrogates Small, who eventually confesses everything. He and 3 fellow soldiers had plundered an Agra temple of its riches and sworn the sign of the Four Pact. They agreed that anyone breaking the pact would forfeit all of his worldly goods to the others. Small admitted that he had betrayed and murdered one of the partners and has been hunting the other 2 ever since. Small claims that Bartholomew Sholto is dead, but Holmes isn't convinced. Later that day, Mary Morstan returns to claim her pearls. She thanks Holmes and Watson for their help and hands, each of them a pearl. Holmes receives the largest and finest. Then she departs, promising to call again soon. Watson is moved by her gratitude and her courage, and he asks her to become his wife. She says yes, and they are soon married. Back at Baker Street, Holmes examines the pearls under his microscope and offers a wry warning about domestic happiness. He congratulates them anyway, then returns to his armchair to wait for the next mystery. Weeks later, Holmes learns that Small used his wooden leg as a chisel to tunnel out of Newgate Prison and has disappeared. Inspector Jones laments the escape, but Holmes tells him that crime's own complications often carry their punishment. So that was the sign of the 4. Let me know your thoughts on the story and on the overarching series. Is it something you want me to continue? We could do The Hound of the Baskervilles next. That's a fan favorite. Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.